Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Lee Boone here, and I wanted to talk to you guys today about the 5 keys to leadership. Now, a lot of people have a lot of different opinions, and certainly there's not only 5 keys to leadership, but I want to talk about 5 important keys to me that's helped me with my leadership in my business, on my job, and those are the things that I found to help me to achieve the success that I've achieved. And certainly what I'm aiming to do here is maybe I'll perhaps share some nuggets with you today that'll help you in whatever you have going or whatever you like to get going. Okay, so let's begin. So when we're talking about the 5 important keys to leadership, we're talking about what it takes to be the type of leader that you need to be to get the type of results that you want. What makes me upset sometimes is you'll find that people are, as leaders, they're controlling. Now, when you're a leader, you don't have to be controlling. It's an aura that you have about you because of the work that you put in and the example that you set. So when you're a true leader, then the expectations are out there. So let's talk about that. So the first thing is setting expectations. Okay? And when we're talking about setting expectations, that means no matter what you're doing, whether you're running your own business, whether you're the boss at a job, whether you are leading an organization or whatever the case may be, each member has a role, and each role has an expectancy. And so based on how all that's allocated, you need to set an expectation of what you expect from them, and then they need to have some type of platform where they're heard from, where they can tell what you expect. It's really important, because if you're expecting this and they're expecting this, then the problem is you'll never get this. So you, in actuality, would be wasting their time, and you'd be wasting your time trying to push them up here to get this. I work with a guy right now, and he doesn't have any children. His wife, and I'm in sales, and his wife, she works, and because his wife works and he works and they have no children, then the responsibilities aren't there as someone who's married with children. So his expectation level is not where someone who has a lot of responsibilities would be. You see, if he only needs this right here, then this is all he's going to shoot for. So I can't get mad at that guy if he wants to go out and he wants to shoot for this, okay? And at the end of the day, I want him to shoot for that, because because what'll end up happening is, if I'm desperate and I show my desperateness, if you will, I'll accept this now and I'll act like this is okay now, but inevitably, when it comes crunch time, I'm gonna nudge him a little bit, and I'm gonna crack the whip a little bit. I'm gonna expect a little more out of him. And if I get carried away, I'm gonna crack the whip a little too hard. And what's gonna end up happening is the production that I was getting from him here, now his morale is down, and so his production began to come off screen. And now I'm in a worse situation. I'm in a situation that's worse than it was. So I need to basically, if I have an expectation, then I need to surround like-minded people that are after the same goals and dreams that I am. And it's okay if he's right here, but I need to not expect more from him than he expects from himself. My mother used to always tell me, you can never love somebody more than they love themselves. You can't. So it's the same rules that apply. Another thing that I want to talk about is micromanaging. know this is a good one because a lot of people like to micromanage. Nobody likes to be micromanaged, but a lot of people love to micromanage. Micromanaging to me is like babysitting, and I don't have time to do it. You see, I set, as a leader, you have to set set the expectation of what your time is worth. And if your time isn't worth a lot, you can be doing a whole lot of that. A whole lot of micromanaging. But if you value your time, then there's just going to be an expectation level of what you will deal with and what you won't deal with. And that kind of correlates with setting expectations. For instance, if I'm running a company and I've got responsibilities, which as a leader I should have responsibilities, then I don't have time to look over your shoulder and make sure you're doing your job. I don't have time to make sure that you're looking for. So maybe the guy that I work with, maybe I'm not going to, if I need this and he's here, then maybe in the interviewing process, I'm not going to go with him, and it's not going to be nothing personal. It's business that I'm here. And another sense of micromanage, because I also have my own part-time business, which when we're talking about micromanaging, a lot of times I get calls from people about some of the dumbest stuff. How do I do this? Where do I go for this? Where do I go for that? You know, when I was younger, my mother used to say, every time I asked the question, she said, go look it up. Read the encyclopedia. Well, now we don't have to read the encyclopedia. Now we have access to information, and it's millions of ways to get your information. So I don't want to spend time telling somebody how to do something that they can find out how to do for themselves with information that we provide. The thing I love about my business is we provide the information that you need to be able to do the things that you need to do. You just got to get access. You got to get all in. You got to get access to that information so you can do the things that you want to do. And yeah, it's nice to be able to pick up the phone and call somebody and ask them. But if they're sitting there answering your questions, then you got to really ask, what kind of a leader is that? That they're just going to sit around and answer your questions all day. They're not making any advancement by doing that. And it's okay to answer a few questions here and there. I'm not saying don't answer any questions. But you have to put a premium and a value on your time. If you don't, it's going to be a bummer. All right, let me move through this a little quicker, okay? So the third thing that I wanted to talk about is, let's see here. Work smart. Not hard. Okay. I remember one time after this was the Outback Bowl, and I remember my coach looked at me when we was walking off the field. I'll never forget. Coach Trussell looked at me, and because I played at Ohio State. If you don't know, now you know. So I asked Coach Trussell came to me, and he was like, "So Lee, do you feel like you got better?" Because I redshirted. And I said, yes, I worked really, really, really hard. Really, really hard. He said, it's not about how hard you work, it's about how smart you work. See, I can go out there and work so hard and pant like a dog, but if I'm not having any intention with my work, then I'm not working smart. I'm just a ping pong ball. You have to have some time to work. You have to have some time to meditate on what it is that you're doing and strategize about what you're doing so you can be more intentional with your time. I can't stress enough being intentional with your time. As a matter of fact, that's what we're going to roll into, being intentional. Being intentional with your time. That's huge. That's important. If you're not intentional with your time, then what are you doing? As a matter of fact, you need to be figuring out how you can automate as many things as possible. The thing I love about me learning and growing in my part-time business is I'm learning how to automate my time. See, I have no advantage over you when it comes to how many hours I get in a day. If I live through the day and you live through the day, well, guess what? We all got 24 hours. But the difference between me and the difference between maybe somebody else is I'm trying to figure out a way how to multiply the 24 hours in my day. And I do that by allocation and automation. So there's responsibilities that I have, and I have a lot of responsibility. I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a worker, I run my own business. I have a lot of different things that I have to deal with. And I could get overwhelmed if I'm doing all of those things. But you know, with my family, we have a system. There are things, all the things need to be done. Food need to be made, clothes need to be washed, house need to be ran, babies need to be taken care of, money need to be made. And then guess what? My wife and I have an understanding. We have a team. Well, it's the same deal. It's understanding that I can only do but so much. So since I can only do but so much, I'm going to be intentional with that time and do the things that I need to do that I can't maybe get somebody else to do. But the things that I can do, the things that I can get somebody else to do, I'm going to get them to do it. And it's worth it to me, even if I have to pay somebody to do those things for me. If I need somebody to build my website, I pay somebody to do that. If I need somebody to, if I need somebody to write me something or do something for me, I'm paying somebody to do the things for me that I don't have time to do, but they still are important for me to get done. Okay, so that's about being intentional with your time. And then the last part rolls me into do your job. Do your job and not someone else's. Okay? Leaders work. And yes, leaders, I believe, should lead from the front. But if you are doing the work of somebody that you're paying to do the work, then you've got to ask yourself, is this person worth paying? Is this person worth the position? And it's not slighting anybody. It's just that everybody is not equipped to do everything. And it's about surrounding yourself with people who understand the roles. I mean, listen, your kidney is not trying to pump blood for you. You know, your heart is not trying to hear for you. Your ears isn't trying to see for you. You see what I'm saying? So when my body was created and everything that I have is for a specific purpose. It's the same thing with your business. It's the same thing with your time. It's the same thing. You have to understand what needs to be done, and then you have to figure out who's going to do it. But the last thing that I'm going to be doing is your job. I'm not going to be doing your job. And you're not going to be doing my job. Because I'm going to be damn sure that I'm doing my job. So, recap. Set the expectation. Set the expectation and let them know what you expect of them. And then let them let you know what they expect of you and what they expect of themselves. So you can be clear. Number 2, micromanagement. Stay away from that. You'll only find yourself babysitting. You don't have time to do that. You have a business to run. You have responsibilities. You have a job to do. You need to make sure that you're not micromanaging people. Work smart, not hard. Find ways to automate the work that you do. There's nothing like passive income. There's nothing like money on autopilot. There's nothing like it. Being intentional with your time. Make sure that everything that you do, you are intensively intentional about why you're doing it and what you're doing it for. Be intentional with that and don't let anybody get in the way of that. And lastly, do your job and not others. Like I was alluding to earlier, I had another coach. He used to scream this all the time, and if some of my teammates are seeing this video, they're gonna laugh because he's gonna be like, "Do your job." And the thing about doing your job is if you do your job, before you can go over there and help your teammate, you gotta make sure you're doing your job. So it's okay to get over there and help, but you gotta make sure that you're doing your job. And when you go over there and help them help themselves. Don't handicap them. So I really, really hope that this bless someone. And I'd like to be able to help you in any way I can. I have a link down below. I want you to go ahead and click that link if you ever have any questions. If you'd like to be a part of my email team, where I email my teammates about things and give them gold nuggets about what they can do to help improve their businesses, no matter what they have. Or if you have any questions, you can get in contact with me. And I'll see you on the inside. And you take care.